This is how we shoot. We kick the ball with the feet while we up in the box. This is how we shoot. We getting booked, getting cards while the ref checking the bar. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Footy Fetish Show, where the fetish is real, the footy is soccer. Chop my legs off and call me shorty. The World Cup is here, ladies and gentlemen. We've been waiting for this moment for 4 years. It is here. The Footy Fetish Soldier has been waiting. We're going to be talking more World Cup than Stormy Daniels is taking STD tests. It's happening tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But we got to break down the groups. We're talking Group A on this episode tonight. To kick it off, I need somebody to help us out here. I got the eighth wonder of the world with me. Hello, Ocho.
Hey! Back on the mic. With the mic Daddy. As always, a pleasure. Very excited to be here. World Cup.
Always.
Cut your legs off. Call you shorty. It's World Cup time, ladies and gentlemen. We back. And we're back with two special guests. Booty, why don't you introduce one of our guests tonight? Who we got?
Let's do it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go with our French pundit first. Return guests. Ladies and gentlemen, the ninth wonder of the world, the French wonder. Mr. Ntwali, say what's up, man.
How you doing, fellas? Always happy to be back and talk footy. I think especially now it's such a special occasion. It only happens once every 4 years, so I'm looking forward to it.
Hell yeah. Next up on the docket, we got our man out in hot Atlanta, ATL, but not an Atlantean, a true New Orleanian at heart. Welcome back, Mike Malone. How you doing?
Fellas, what's happening? How y'all doing?
It's every time, man. Every time.
Appreciate y'all having me back.
Yeah, absolutely. And today we're not talking about Mike's Gunners here, Mike and Ntwali's Gunners. We're talking about Group A. This is Qatar, Netherlands, Senegal, and Ecuador. As we've been doing in other episodes, we're going to go through and predict who we think will finish top of the group and who we think will finish second, third, and fourth. Who should we start with today? I'm going to go with Mic Daddy. Booty, give us your rankings here.
Oh, boy. So let's see what we got here. Group A, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking Qatar, Ecuador, Netherlands, Senegal. Interesting group. Couple of things to point out. We were actually just talking about this before the show. I was thinking the same damn thing. Ntwali always reads our minds.
Mm-hmm.
Before the Sadio Mane injury, this was a lot different group for me. Definitely had Senegal as a lot moving on. I actually put a couple bucks down on FanDuel with them moving on. So definitely was before the injury. But I'm going to stick with it. I think I'm going to take Netherlands to win this group. That second place spot now, man, to me, it's either between Qatar, it's between them and I'd say Senegal still has a chance. I'm gonna give it to Senegal just because I feel like last World Cup they should have moved on. As we mentioned in our last episode, it was because of their fair play rule with the yellow cards that Japan got the tiebreaker and moved on instead of them. I feel like I just want to see them in the round of 16. Always really fun to see the African countries come out for the World Cup. To me, they definitely have the rowdiest fans. Really fun to see those folks in the crowd too. I'm gonna go Senegal second. Qatar really close behind. Ecuador rounded it out third. I still don't feel very confident about it, but that's what I'm gonna go with.
I dig it.
What you thinking?
All right. I mean, this is the first one for me is very obvious, even though if we remember, they're just like the USA in that they missed out last World Cup as well. So this is their first World Cup in 8 years. So Netherlands are going to be looking to make some noise. I'm going to go with them first. Looking at the Senegalese 26-man roster, they've got so much talent. It's hard to not put them in the top two. They might be able to finish first just because this Dutch team, they're very heavy on the back end. I'm not as confident with their front line. They do have some really good young players. As Ntwali, I'll let Ntwali get into that. They got some young talent that they decided to bring. So I'll go Netherlands, Senegal, Qatar, Ecuador as well. I don't know enough about Ecuador. They're obviously in the World Cup, so that says a lot about them as a team. They're coming out of is Ecuador is considered the CONMEBOL. They're out there with Brazil and Argentina. So clearly, if they're in, I think they're in CONMEBOL. If they're in that hexagon, if they're in that qualifying, then I mean they have to have some quality on that team,
Right.
make it through. So, that looking at those bottom two, I feel like those two could easily make some noise against Netherlands and Senegal. But this group on paper seems to be pretty much Netherlands, Senegal, and then the other two will fight for third and fourth. I'm going to pass it over to Fabrice Ntwali. What you got here?
I think I'll probably go along with you guys because it's kind of straightforward in terms of quality. Like you just have to look at where their main starters or like their big time players are going to be coming from. They're guys that play in the UCL regularly. I think for me, Netherlands and Senegal have the top two spots, even without Mane for Senegal, because I think they have lots of strength in like all the lines. You got to think about Mendy at the back. You got to think about their center backs, the center mids. They have lots of stuff. What I'm not sure about is how Qatar and Ecuador line up, but I think the way I would probably slate them will probably be Ecuador third, and then the host country Qatar coming in last.
Okay, I think that. Gunner Mike, last but not least.
Yeah, I'm gonna, really stick with what you guys have been saying. I got the Netherlands coming in first, Senegal second. I'll go Ecuador third, Qatar last. I do like Senegal's team though, without Mane. Ismaila Sarr is a really, really good player out there, out wide. Really good. He just been stuck at Watford since they got pushed down the championship, but he's a baller. I don't know. I think they got a lot of talent. It wouldn't shock me at the same time if they won the group. You know what I mean? So I will say that. So just off of, they got some talent over there. So we'll see what they can do. But
Okay.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with Netherlands winning the group for now.
Points. All right, this is my favorite part, where we try to build the starting 11 of some of these teams here. We got to start with the fun one here. We're going to start with the Dutch. So for me, the most difficult position for the Dutch has got to be the goalkeeper, because you look over in Ajax and Remco Pasveer is the lock starter, and he's taken over for Stecklenburg, who was the starter during the Euros. And he has been starting for the Dutch team during UEFA Nations. However, his form as of late has been awful. He's been exploited out all throughout the Champions League. They got knocked down to Europa. So I'm looking over to the Feyenoord goalkeeper, Justin Bijlo. I think he could be a great pickup in fantasy. He is one that I believe will be the starter. And I've actually financially invested in that for my So Rare team. I think he'll be the starter heading into the World Cup. So we'll see. I'm going to put Bijlo down as my pick for goalkeeper. Ntwali, I was talking to you about this earlier, so I'm going to let you do the back line here. If the Netherlands run a back three, let's just assume they do. Who are your starting three center backs?
I feel like they pick themselves if they do a back three. It's probably going to be Van Dijk, De Ligt, and De Vrij, right? They're starters in their own team. I think they're like solid enough to like carry that team. And a back three is the fairest, I think, to all those players. Like, which one of those three do you knock down?
It would be De Ligt if I had to pick. And if anyone has opinions here, please jump in. But I own a De Ligt card in So Rare, and he has been swapping minutes at Bayern, and I think he just cracked back into the lineup after an injury. The player that I think could squeeze De Ligt out would be Jurrien Timber over at Ajax. Now, just like Pasveer, Ajax has been struggling for goals and struggling to keep goals out. So he could be one that maybe squeezes in that back three. He's certainly a great additional piece, a great sub. But just, speaking amongst us men here, I think Jurrien Timber and De Ligt are the ones that are really in question moving forward. Virgil van Dijk as well. He's got that ACL. You never know, right? He's been exploited a little bit in Champions League. He's also held up there with Holland. So we'll see.
Do they play back three?
What's that? Who's that?
Holland. Do they play back three usually?
No. When I said Holland, I meant Erling, not Holland. But yeah,
I meant the Netherlands.
Sorry, yeah. Through qualifying, they have been deploying a back three, and we're gonna pull this up. Everybody knows.
Okay, yeah, I think that would be interesting because the players that I'm thinking will be their right and left back, if they're used as wing backs, will be pretty solid.
So, do you want to go there? I was gonna pass that off to Booty or Gunner.
No.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Let the party go. I was gonna say just Tyler Malacia and Denzel Dumfries. You see Dumfries more than me in Serie A, but if those are, well, I guess I see Daily Blend there. But if those two are the ones that are starting for them, there's pace, there's physicality, and I think it probably takes a lot of the load off the offensive guys tracking back. So
definitely
could be interesting.
I absolutely agree with Dumfries. He really shined in the Euros, but that left wing back has really got me stumped. I don't know. They have Blind there, but I don't think they did bring Blind. I think Blind is going to be kind of like a utility player, just like Nathan Ake. I really don't think those two crack the starting lineup. I really think Malacia. I agree with you on Malacia. I think it could be Dumfries and Malacia. The only other player I think it could be is Frimpong, or where is he? I thought he made the lineup. Looks like he didn't. The left back for Ajax.
I don't know him.
Wendell. Looks like he did not make the lineup. So the only player that I would say might rotate in here would be Jeremy Frimpong out of Bayer Leverkusen, who has been phenomenal this year. He's been doing really well. But Gunner Mike.
Yo.
Out of this Dutch team, who would you start in the midfield? Give me 2 to 3 midfielders here that you would be starting.
I'm going Frankie De Jong off rip. We're getting him out there. Guess really depends on how we're playing. Are we playing with a number 10?
Give me an 8. Give me a 6 or an 8. Another 6 or 8 here.
Man, give me
It's tough. I know this is a tough decision here. So I'm looking at maybe Davy Klaassen.
I like Klaassen, but
it's tough.
Man,
it's tough.
I don't know, because I was gonna say you said a 6 or 8. You know what? I can go with Klaassen. I can go with Klaassen.
Okay, now give me your 10. Give me a 10 if you had to pick a 10 here.
I like Javi, man.
Really?
I like him, man. I like him. I saw him up close and personal when they played in the Europa League, and he tore us to shreds. Had us looking stupid out there. So I like him. He looked really good. That move away from PSG was probably just what he needed. But that's where they had him playing, and I liked him there for sure.
Follow-up question. If you could sign him for Arsenal, would you?
Bring his ass in. I wish we could bring him in January.
Really? You bring
him in? I would bring him in if we could. It would never happen. Move.
Post World Cup.
You know what I mean? Get him in now because the price about to go up.
Heard that. He's gonna come in like a knockout round or like late in like the 10th minute, like the last 10 minutes of like the third game of group stage, and everyone's gonna be like, "Whoa, damn!" Okay.
They did say he's got like a fee agreed with PSG. Like they have first refusal right if PSV selling him. So there's that. But like I think if he honestly thinks he's not gonna break into that team, if I was him, I'd go somewhere else.
Heard that. Yeah, I would honestly like PSG, great club, but he has clearly shown that if given the trust and the minutes, he will succeed. And I think I would stay in the Dutch league if I were him, because he seems to just be growing. I think another year there would be so good for his growth and development, because the competition is not too difficult, but it also gives him the ability to play in Europe, right? Europa. They might even get into a Champions League next year. I would love to see PSV, AZ. He's had
PSV. Yeah.
I always get those two mixed up.
And I tell you what, PSV got a nice little squad too. Just by the way,
Oh
in
yeah.
general, I love Sangare. I need him
Oh,
as. I need Partey. I need
Center
to be the
mid, right?
Partey replacement. I need him.
dude,
I need
get
him on the team.
get Partey out, get Sangare in. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Any
nah,
player that's
I
got like
like
a
that
little
kid.
any player that's got like a little puff of bleach in their hair, like it's a stripe, like just bring them on. I'm signing them, man. I don't care. Like you got that much swagger, like come on in, man. Midfielder,
He's really
bleach
good.
hair tip. Let's go, dude.
Yeah, he's a
Let's
good player.
fucking go. I wish we could see Ivory Coast in the World Cup, man. I would love to see
Oh man, yeah.
Ivory Coast,
used to,
Ibrahim Sangare. There's some really good Ivory Coast players kind of scattered around Europe that I would love to see, but
It's been a while.
I think the expanding the number of teams in the World Cup will help because like that big ass continent only gets 5 spots, and like someone's gonna lose out. Egypt is not there. Ivory
Yeah.
Coast is not there. There's a few teams
Algeria.
that just miss out. Yeah.
Who's another one? Nigeria, Egypt,
Are they out?
Cameroon,
South Africa?
South Africa,
Ghana is there at least, so that's all right.
Ghana, Cameroon,
Ghana.
Tunisia, Morocco, Senegal. There we
Yes.
Yep.
go. Booty, I'm leaving the forwards to you, buddy.
Thank you, sir. Give me the pie. Give me the piece of the pie.
I was gonna say I don't have pie here, man.
I know.
I'm asking you for forwards.
I got you. I'm ready to fill that pie. You know, we gotta put him up there. I'm gonna go, man. It looks like they've been loving them. If you go back and look at a bunch of the qualifying,
Yeah.
I gotta go Bergwijn, man. It looks like those two have been pretty hot up top together, with the 3-1-4-2. Or I've seen a couple times in these qualifiers that they've flipped it to a 3-4-1-2. But those two have seemed like they've been on fire as well the last few qualifying matches. But also, I can't remember if you guys might know, but had they qualified early, Netherlands, or were they still fighting those last couple matches? You know?
Don't know.
I'm not
What's
positive.
the standing? Look at the group standing. It'll tell you.
I can tell you
Yeah.
these games that we're looking at right now, these are UEFA Champions Cup or whatever it's called, UEFA Nations League.
It looks like they're
so they're kind of friendlies, but then they're kind of not.
Right.
You know,
So that's what's a tough call about it, you know. But I'm gonna stick with that, man.
I like that.
With that.
Bergwijn's been killing it for Ajax this season.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a really good player. I mean, he broke out on the scene at Tottenham, and everyone was like, "Who the fuck? Who is this dude?"
Right.
Fizzled out, and he comes back to Ajax, and it's like, "Oh yeah, I remember this guy. This guy had that shit."
Really, he's better. He's better than the Dutch league, but
For sure.
you know, I get the move to go back, but he's better. He's better than that. He's a level above that, I think.
Yeah. Oh, it's so obvious when you see him on the ball in the Dutch league. You're like, he doesn't belong here.
Yeah,
He needs to get out of this league. Yeah.
Hey, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, and some other sneaky picks that we might be seeing is Cody Gakpo, who I know my Arsenal buddies over there are very familiar with, and a true number 9, Luke De Jong, who I know y'all remember in the La Liga. I think he was at Sevilla. He was at Barcelona for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
He sprung out onto the scene. I think it was Europa, maybe. He just had a whole bunch of goals in one of these European competitions. And then my last little dude, Noah Lang, is one to keep an eye out. He's a shifty little fucker. Had a lot of success in the Belgian league with Charles de Kettelera, who is another name we'll be dropping in another episode. But those are just some little young gun names. Another one, Kenneth Taylor. I don't know if you guys know him, over at Ajax as well.
Mm-mm.
That's another young midfielder, number 10 kind of winger that could really he's a creative little guy as well. So they have, like I was saying earlier, they have a lot of strength in their back line. Their goalkeeper is their weakest point because nobody knows who it's going to be. And then their forward and midfielder, I think their midfielder is really stout, but their forward line is just young and inexperienced. So it's going to be interesting to see how Van Gaal, how he moves these players around and how he decides to attack. in this group because this group is easily winnable with the players like on paper in FIFA. If you give me this team in a FIFA World Cup like roundabout simulation, I'm gonna dominate this group on FIFA. I'm gonna fucking dominate. If you give me this Dutch team, I'm gonna fucking crush it. But anyway, let's move on over to Senegal. Senegal is, like without looking at the roster, I'm sitting here going, man, I don't know any Senegalese players. And then I start looking at the roster and I'm like, I know a whole bunch of these players right out the gate. Chelsea's starting goalkeeper, Edward Mendy. Like, oh, fuck, that's a great player. Who wants to give a crack at the defense? Don't volunteer.
So I know that Sabali is the right back and Toure, both of those guys are right backs for them. Diallo, like Abdou Diallo's played left back a little bit. I'm not sure if he's going to be the starting left back for those guys. Then I think like Kalidou Koulibaly. I would say Koulibaly and Diallo might be their starters in the back.
And can you remind me, where is Diallo played?
He went out on loan somewhere. He was at PSG for a while.
He was at PSG. Okay. All right.
Where the hell is he? Is he in Turkey or is he in Spain?
I'll help you out. Diallo.
But he's solid for sure. So I would say those guys.
Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Diallo. Is that him? Amadou Diallo?
No, Abdou. Abdou. Yeah.
Leipzig.
In Germany?
Wow.
Okay.
Okay. On loan for PSG at Leipzig. Okay, well then that's awesome. So good for him. He's gonna be starting. Okay, and then you dropped the two outside backs, and I missed the other one. I got Sabali. Who's the other outside
And
back?
I think Fode Ballo Toure.
Of course.
Where he
Fucking
plays.
AC Milan, man.
Is he?
Yeah.
Damn,
Nice.
he's slacking. Left back?
Yeah. Back up to
Okay,
tail.
then.
Yeah.
Then that's your left
Oh, wow.
back.
Well,
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, you look through the lineup and you're like, man, I know some of these players. I know where they play. Anybody want Mike Booty? Let's give a crack at midfield, man. Let's see what you got here.
Shit, man. Let's see. Can you make that a little bigger for me there?
Yeah. Let me zoom in.
It's like blurry.
You made that a little bigger for me. That's what she did say.
That's what she said.
Yes, sir.
One that I recognize right off the bat.
Yeah, gotta say gay. Gotta get gay in there.
Papa Gay as well.
Papa Gay.
Yeah.
yeah.
Of course.
And then is it Ghana Gay or Papa Gay? Which one was at PSG, Ntwali?
Ghana gay.
Gotta gay. Yeah.
Just got a pair of gays on Senegal here.
I think he gets plenty of minutes for
You gotta say, Mike. You gotta say pause for me. Pause.
Pause.
And hopefully they don't get arrested in Qatar. Anyway. Just for being themselves, unfortunately.
I know Crepin Diatta is. I know I hear his name all the time. I don't know where he's at right now, but I think he's in Club Bruges. I think he's playing.
Mm.
Oh, he's at Monaco right now. Okay, he was at Club Bruges. I know that's where he kind of made a name for himself. And this is where the forwards, obviously Sadio Mane, but then after this, I'm not really familiar with any of these players here. Ismaili Sarr.
Yeah.
He's playing
Where's he playing?
I think
on a right wing.
Let me look him up. I've never heard of that guy, but the name sounds.
Oh, yeah, you have. He's like
Plays at Watford. He's really good.
Oh, yeah, okay.
he kind of reminds me of Dembele almost. Like Ousmane Dembele a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm gonna check here.
Bamba Jane's gonna be the other starter.
Yeah, Bamba Dieng.
Yeah.
Bamba Dieng. Hold on.
Yep.
Let me know if y'all see him here.
Sheku Kouyaté is a starter, I think, too. He's a mid. You passed him right there. He's a midfielder for. He plays in France. I think he's captain of a team there.
Right here.
Big guy.
Check.
Yeah, he's like a
Oh,
6
yeah.
foot. Like, how
Look,
tall
he's
is
in
he?
the EPL. Yeah, he's definitely playing.
Yeah, he's playing.
Mhm.
What was
He's like
that other
6'4".
player y'all just said?
Bamba Dieng.
Plays for Marseille, I think.
Yeah, he's at Marseille. There he is. Yep.
Damn, 22.
Yeah, he's definitely playing.
Crazy.
Him and Sarr are gonna have to hold it down.
Yeah,
if
when
if
Mane's
Mane's
out.
not out there, yeah.
Gotcha. Wow. Okay, that's right. The Mane injury opens up the doors for some players to really step in the scene.
Yeah, it's gonna be telling. Who wins the group? Obviously, is gonna be like when these two guys play each other to figure that out. Because I don't see him dropping the ball against those two other teams.
This is good. This is going to be a good group. I really hope Senegal go through because exactly what Booty said. Last World Cup, I really liked that team, man.
Yeah.
And to go on to what Booty said, the Senegalese fans are so much fun. They bring so much passion and just enthusiasm to the game. It's so fun. I would love to one day go over to Africa and just play pickup because you see clips on the internet of African pickup, and it almost feels like I can't tell if the Brazilians invented this style or if the Africans invented this style, but it's so similar. There's a lot of flair and there's a lot of fun. Sometimes they don't even care about going to the goal. It's about just like making a show for the fans. It's so awesome. Like my boy in Ghana, he and I will send clips back and forth, and it's just I love that African style of play. It's very unique. Ntwali, do you have any comments on that African style of play?
I think it's just like as a consequence of like their surroundings and just like what you brought up playing. I remember Drogba talking about it and just like playing on the street. It's just what you got. And I'm sure you probably seen it in Brazil. It's just like play what you got, old busted ball, like dirt ground.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's different, because like European guys get put in academies and shit, but like, those guys that just deal with what they got and they still get up to top leagues. So it's a hard road, but they definitely make it worth it.
Yeah. OC Men is one that I've recently been following and seeing some interviews, and he was saying how he was one of those kids that was selling water on the corner, and anytime he had free time, he'd be playing in the dirt fields with like rocks and bumps, and it just like you said, you play with what's available, and if that's all that's available, you just make do. But I also think that kind of what you were saying, like I see it in Brazil where it's amazing how much happier Brazilians are with less. Like in America, we have all of this stuff. Everyone's got like so much stuff, but we're not like relative to the Brazilian people. They're so happy and they have less. And I feel like that same kind of mentality of just being like just joyful or just being alive, like that. You see that on the field. Like another thing is that I was talking to a Honduran, and he was saying how the South Americans, and this is true for the Africans, is that they play soccer to have fun, whereas the Europeans, it's very business first. It's very drilled, like make this pass, don't take the extra touch. If you don't make this pass, it's very like regimented and like strict, and like he's over in Europe right now playing against Germans, and he's with like his Americans. He's over there for military, and he's playing against like German military. I don't know which part of the military. It might be Army, but he's over there and he's saying the styles of play. He's with a bunch of Latinos playing against a bunch of Germans, and he's like, they don't want to have fun, whereas his team, they're all about the flair and taking players one-on-one, and it's this is what I love about the South American style of plays. They're there to have fun and play the game, whereas I feel like Europeans, they've kind of like lost touch of the reason that it is a game. It's a game. You're supposed to have fun, and it's just interesting. I'm curious to see also if the hot weather in Qatar makes a difference here, because there's always this conversation about whether or not the weather affects the teams that are playing. Anyway, I'm gonna stop going on a tangent there.
Are they playing at night out there? You know, or what time of the game's gonna be?
I'm not sure, but it's not going to be a big difference in temperature. It's still going to be like 100
Wow.
degrees out there.
Yeah.
I mean, it went from 114 in the summer to 100 in the winter.
Wow.
I mean, it's on the equator. I can tell you in Fortaleza, on the equator, it's either hot or hotter. It's the same fucking temperature all year long.
Damn.
That's just the way it is. Like winter is just less hot, but it's still hot. It's still like 90 degrees outside. It's just hot as fuck all the time.
Say, well, Ecuador will be ready for it, man.
This is where I'm going. You know, some of these South American teams, they play in this hot weather all the time, so they're used to it.
Yep.
I mean, we saw it in Brazil. The South American teams did very well in Brazil, where the European teams did not do well. So, I mean, of course they won, right? But Argentina was there. You saw a lot of South American teams in that knockout round. Anyway, another discussion for another day. Anyone want to add something about Group A here?
I don't think so, man.
Okay.
I do like what you said about, folks just using what they got, man. Some of these countries you're talking about, man, it's really interesting to see. I got a buddy that's from Dominican Republic. He's a big soccer fan, but he's also a big baseball fan. Where baseball is really big over there. And he was saying something to piggyback off of what you're saying, but like, a lot of those kids obviously don't even have any shoes, anything. They play baseball with a broomstick and a bottle cap. And that's why you see a lot of these like Dominican players nowadays just tear the cover off the ball, because by the time they actually see a bat and a ball, I mean, it looks like a damn beach ball.
Yeah.
So it's a crazy thought, man. It's just crazy. So
that's spot on. Going from like a bumpy dirt pitch to a smooth grass pitch, you're like, oh, I'm going to make magic happen under my feet.
Exactly. Yeah, the same thing my brother was saying. He's like, hey, if we couldn't find a broomstick and a bottle cap, I guess we were playing soccer, because we can make something, go find a ball or make something out of a ball, So interesting.
Cool.
Well, let's close this group out, boys. Appreciate y'all. Your knowledge is always beautiful. Let's see. I think it's about time we give a shout out to the hate, to the love. Who wants to go first?
I got a shout out. I'm going to go with a local pie manufacturer that just started to make pies again. Talking about Hubig's Pies. They're back, ladies and gentlemen. Go get yourself a pie. I had the fortune of cutting the corner off of a pie that someone had. It was a lemon pie, and it was fucking delicious. I forgot how good they were. So they're back. I got to pat myself on the back because I actually helped them make their pie cutter. I have some family ties to the pie cut manufacturer. They reached out to us and said, we need someone to build a pie cutter. Here's the old one. They bought a machine that was for like a Hot Pocket, like a pizza making company. And the pie cutter they had for the Hot Pocket was too big to fit in their wrapping. So they said, convert this, make a new one. So we took the pie cutter they gave us. I measured the fuck out of it. I rebuilt it in 3D. We built a plastic one, and we sent that company the plastic one. They ran some tests. They said, trim it here, do this, do this. Built another plastic one, sent it back. They said, this one's good. Make it out of metal. And their pie cutter that they have right now. And I was a little cheeky. If you look in the rim of the Hubig's pie crust, I actually, in the model, I spelled Hubig's out. So if you get a Hubig's pie in the crust, you'll see the word Hubig's.
Oh,
And I
wow.
did that without them asking. I was like, I'm gonna do this just because I can model it in 3D. So I did it, and funny enough, I put it left to right, but because the pie cutter is pushing into the dough, you had to flip the letters backwards. So anyway, it took me realizing that, like, oh fuck, imagine getting a Hubig's pie and it's spelled backwards, right?
Right.
And then every pie from then on out has Hubig's backwards. So luckily I caught that.
So thoughtful as fuck.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
Hubig's pies are back, ladies and gentlemen. Go get a pie.
Get your piece of the pie. Go, Mike. What you got?
Hey, man.
I already know.
Y'all know what my shout out is, man. My shout out is to the top of the table, 5-point clear leaders, the mighty Arsenal, man. We looking good. it feels so good to have a gap at the top going into this nice long break. You know, I could have a nice Thanksgiving, great
Hell
Christmas.
yeah. Hell yeah.
You know what I'm
Great.
saying? Relaxing, chilling, looking. I'm
Who's down there?
thinking what's going on. But nah. You know, trying to remain humble. You know what I mean? But team looks good. You know, we out here, man. We out here, man. Shout out to the Gunners, man. We gonna keep going, keep rocking. Big January transfer window coming. Mudrick
Oh,
and
yeah. Mudryk.
Danilo from Palmeiras from the Brazilian league.
Fuck you
Uh,
guys, man. Get out of here with that
did it-
shit.
I swear, bro. Watch. Get ready.
You might as well just
working-
change the club name to Brazil FC, man. There's gonna be like no more Brazil U out in fucking Ukraine. It's gonna be Arsenal, aka Brazil U, man.
Hey, man. That's
here for
how we coming. That's how
I'm
we
here for it.
coming.
I'm here for it,
We might need
Nice,
a couple
man.
more Gabbies on the squad.
man.
Hey, we need them all, man. Bring the Gabbies in, man.
One more Gabby, yeah. It's lonely at the top, isn't it, y'all?
It's
lonely.
fun, man. It's
Yeah.
fun. Haven't been here in a while.
Talk your shit, dude. Talk your shit while you're at the top.
Hey, man. You know, shout out to Total 92, man. I'll be keeping it humble in there, man.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
You know
all
what?
y'all-
I'm
all
gonna
y'all
start. I'm
Premier
gonna
League
start
fans
talking
in
shit
there,
for you,
man.
Mike.
You
I'm
know
gonna
what I'm
start talking
saying?
shit for you, dude.
You know, we out here, man. We out here, man. You know, so
Mike, you know what I'm gonna start doing? I'm gonna start dropping hashtag Arteta out.
shout out to all our Arteta outers, man.
Oh,
It was
God.
close though. I keep saying, you know, I'm gonna be real. It was close.
It was touch and go.
But yeah, but shout out to my boy, man. He made it through, man. He made it through. And shout out to Aubameyang too, man. Shout out to Aubameyang too, man.
Yeah, how's he
Shout
doing?
out right there, man.
Nothing
Oh.
personal.
Nothing personal, buddy. He literally got subbed off when we scored.
Dude, that
Oh.
photo
He couldn't,
of
he just
everyone
couldn't.
running by him.
Beautiful. Oh man, what a sight! What a sight!
Iconic,
What a sight,
historic
you
right
know,
there. You hang
but,
that in your book, man.
Yeah, man. You know, but I'm good though, man. That's but shout out to the boys, man. Shout out to the boys.
Oh, I love it. Twali, give a shout out, man. What you got?
All right. This isn't exactly technically a shout out. I'm just gonna say, Dennis Allen, get your shit together. Get your shit together.
Good shout out.
That's about it.
Excellent shout out.
That's all I got to say.
Love that.
Love it.
Mike Daddy, you last, bro. Who you got?
It's be a weird one. Even though they're CONCACAF, I feel like we got to throw it out there just since we're doing, this is technically the first episode of our World Cup kickoff, our little World Cup party we having. I got to throw this out there because I think it's a big story. Shout out to Canada for making this World Cup. This is the first time since 1986. It's a 36-year drought for the guys in Canada. The hockey players are going to be some soccer players this time around, baby. They get the skates off the feet. They can be footing around. They'll be kicking balls and feet. It's going to be fun. They actually do have a little squad that my betting folks, I would recommend to go take a look at some of their odds. I feel like they're going to be a little overlooked. So it's a squad that we'll, again, talk about on another episode once we break down their group. But Canada, ladies and gentlemen, blame Canada. Blame Canada. Y'all got anything else,
They have
folks?
a little squad.
They do.
Yeah, shout out to Canada, man. Hey, Jonathan David, man. What a baller.
David.
Baller, bro.
Yep. Alfonso Davies.
Of course.
David Davies.
Who's Alfonso Davis?
Mm-hmm. So I think that about wraps it up. Stay tuned, folks. We're going to do another episode with this crew. Coming live at you. We're going to break down Group D. Twali is going to tell us about how France is going to repeat as champions.